Hi,
Morning.
Gwen. Good day.
Thanks for all the beginning questions. That's pretty cool.
That's really helps.
Um, yeah, you were talking about your governor. Can you
Oh,
explain that story again? They're trying. What is there, a hearing or they're
they're going to
trying?
have a hearing about the guy he gave uh, probation to. I mean that he kind of exonerated, and everybody had a fit because this guy, he even though he was a cop, he also had kind of a history of problems. And I I only heard this when I was listening to things from out of my state, but the governor put out a press release, and apparently the story was he shot someone at a Black Lives Matter. So if it's a Black Lives Matter group, just statistically, you'd expect if you shoot someone, it's most likely to be an African American, right? They just common sense. And that's what I that's who I always thought he'd shot, and it ends up he shot a white guy that was pushing a black guy who had been shot, and that's why he was in the wheelchair in the Black Lives Matter parade. So somehow or another, the governor put out a press release that read, and this is not a verbatim quote, but it basically said, "Don't accuse Governor Abbott of being racially motivated. They shot a white guy. He shot a white guy. He pardoned someone who shot a white guy." And I'm like, this is really great. I'm a white person living in this state. Now I know that we have equal opportunity police shootings. Let's shoot them. And so anyway, the whole thing's been thrown because it was a jury decision to sentence this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and it was unanimous.
Yep.
So it's been thrown back to this state is so odd. The laws, trust me. So when people say, "How would they do it in Texas?" Oh, I'm sure they don't do it that way in your state, but I'm not sure which committee or what. But they can put the guy back in jail. They can say no. They can override the governor's decision.
Good. Yeah. Well, a primarily white area. Let Kyle Rittenhouse go.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Unbelievable.
And now he runs around like he's a hero.
Yeah, he's got to stay in his little circles like 45 does.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise he gets booed and
Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday?
no.
She and another politician went to support. There's two. One guy's already kind of really MAGA, but he didn't do something Trump wanted, so they're running another even more MAGA guy against him. Rah! This is like, anyway. Um, it's if you can find it, it's on Midas Touch. She and this other guy went, uh, and they had to walk from where the bus parked to where they were going to speak to people. They were booed and followed by the biggest crowd you've ever seen. And there were people who brought homemade huge cardboard signs. Like it looked like something that someone had just moved and they'd taken it off a cabinet, like a armoire thing. It was that big. It took 3 people to carry it. And it said, "Make autocrats go away." They were following him with it, and they were screaming at her. And so she was first. You could tell she was pissed, and she had a bullhorn too. And so she starts going Trump, 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 and the few people walking with her go Trump, Trump, Trump. Then they realize there's this sea of people coming towards them. They didn't even make it onto the stage to support the guy they'd come to support. They got turned tail, ran back to their bus, and hid out. This is in a stone cold red area of Virginia.
You see in the comments, the prosecutor will not charge Sarah Huckabee Sanders for the $19,000 lectern.
Of course they won't.
Hmm. That's not cool.
There's a statute of
Insufficient proof.
limitations. Unless I
Insufficient
go
proof
through the whole
of
process. What, Scott?
insufficient proof of criminal conduct.
Okay, then that leaves it open for the next guy. So they need to just vote in a Democrat and they can go get her.
These people. They won't do what's right.
Mm-mm.
maybe Sarah's better at falsifying records.
Well, you've seen him turn. I mean, they turned up everything too. Dr. Phil likes his money. Dr. Phil has been a fraud for a long time. I don't know what took. He'd just stand there going ho ho ho, and screwing with people. Not a favorite. He's from where I live. He's another one. We don't want him back. He's happy wherever else he's living now. And Alex Jones is going to have to sell everything. He was bawling his eyes out. That's 18 minutes from my house. His studio is 18 minutes from
really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew. I sensed Dr. Phil was a fraud and wacko probably 15 years ago.
Oh,
I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, nah.
Just because Oprah likes him doesn't make him real.
Happy Sunday, Helene.
Yes.
Vicky. Oh, Vicky was driving through Texas and missed your class.
Well, it was really weird because yesterday I had my Oracle Garden class, and I normally send it only to the people who have joined and paid to be Oracle Garden members. And I was poor Scott's already heard the horror stories of my setting up the 9 candles. But anyway, in the middle of it, I realized, oops, I got to send an invitation out to my Oracle Garden. So I sent it out to my Oracle Garden. But there's a way when you send those invitations out, you can say, is this to everybody who follows you? Is this to people with certain memberships? I mean, they actually break them down so you can pick them out. Well, I sent it to everybody. So everybody showed up. Not everybody, but quite a few people that hadn't been there or people who had followed me before or had a class with me before showed up, which was kind of fun because it ended up we had all the right people. God was doing this. It was all the right people. There was a woman there that had a very important legal question about inheritance. And one of the people who had taken a class from me was a retired probation attorney. So she told her what steps she needed to take to find out about what was going on. Since she's a family member, she's a bloodline family member. Anyway, I'm not promising that happens every time I have a class, but it was a good class. We had a good time, and it was fresh blood. Angela was there, and oh dear, this is so rude. I'm blanking on names I should know. Oh, Mary was there. But Mary's going through a whole lot too. I mean, I somehow or another, I never pull people who aren't going through a whole lot. So, okay.
Shifting veils. Next administration start taxing churches, stop them from owning hospitals. That's their blackout plan to controlling women's health care.
The Catholic Church owns more than half of the hospitals in the U.S.
Yeah. I think the one I used to go to before I moved, they were owned by the Catholics, but it's been changed like 10, 15 years ago.
Well,
I don't know what happened there, what they sold or whatnot, but
the hospital that I grew up in and around, we had two. We had Silver Cross, that was the community hospital, and then we had St. Joseph's, which was owned by Sisters of the Providence. And the Sisters of the Providence are now a huge hospital chain all over the country, but I know up in Illinois they really are. They're all now connected. And but here in Dallas, St. Paul's, which was a Sister of the Providence, also hospital. It was the closest one to me when I was going to deliver my third child, but they were not maternal, what we call maternal protective. You know, what they would do whatever it took to save the baby, chop the mother's body up, and throw it out the back door. So we went to a maternal protective hospital, which was a privately owned group. But the Catholics have very much taken over a lot, and that means in some areas that's the only health care you can have, and it's dictated by their religious beliefs. And as long as they get any public money, I don't think that should be true. But
Yeah.
and there are countries that have religious institutions that are involved with other institutions, but I don't know what they do about taxing hospitals in Britain, because they have the NHS and they have private hospitals there too. So
I just toss cards and get my thoughts just on taxing churches first.
mm-hmm.
Didn't want to double up with that. So
Guess what? I got a yes. It's going to be a fight, but it's going to be raised on the fact that I think all hospitals should be taxed, and there are non-religious hospitals that are also not taxed the way other ones were. That happened with Richard Nixon. He signed a law that hospitals could make a profit, and the second he did that, Katie barred the door on our healthcare costs. This is my middle card. So I think, yes, we're going to come to this because people are going to realize what pain and anguish this costs. And, you know, they use all the public services to get the people there, the ambulances and everything else. So. But it's not going to be easy. It's got 3 cards saying no, but they're all one no's. And one is, are they going to be strong enough? Where is she? Okay. Is it going to be strong enough to do it? This means they understand in the long term they really need to do that to get healthcare costs under control, if nothing else. And it's going to make people say, oh, but you're not letting them just be kind. My dad that's the reason I know about Nixon is my dad was running St. Joseph's at the time. He ran his practice, but he also had doctors that are kind of in charge of the board. And he was there when that law got passed, and he said, that's going to become uncontrolled. He could not believe when I moved to Texas in 1967, I had to go see a doctor. And at the time, there was a thing called 3D courtesy. Doctors, dentists, and druggists gave each other courtesies, gave each other either discounts or just didn't charge them. And but they always sent a bill saying you would have been charged this, but this is what you're getting. And I had to go to a doctor off campus, and my father could not believe the bill. He said, what the hell did they do to you? And I said, it was like an office visit. He said, it was 5 times what an office visit would have been in my hometown. So, what'd you get?
Yeah, I mean, I see I think they're going to try to work on an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the thought process, but I don't think it's, I don't sense it's like directly about owning the hospitals. I'm getting the sense of more of these non-evangelical churches first. But as far as the hospitals, it feels like that's ways away because I do have a lot of battling cards.
Mm-hmm.
The fighting, kind of like what's been done in the past with the 6 of Cups. 9 of Coins is all about making things right in the balance, but the 5 of Wands is showing, well, it's not going to be easy. There's a fight there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing like agreements. Try to work on some agreements first, like the 6 of Pentacles, Lovers, and the Wheel of Fortune. How to make make change to make funding, more
Mhm.
amicable, instead of just hoarding, and instead of forcing tax. So in the end, I have positive movement with 8 of Wands, 10 of Wands, another problem.
Mhm.
9 of Wands, well, we don't have to, we don't want to. Knight of Swords is like more investigating.
Well,
So it's going to be a fight. It doesn't feel like, yep, boom, we're going to do it. It's like, if I get the sense of like, okay, we're going to come talk about it first. We're going to try to be nice. And then, try to go a little more hardcore and try to set some laws or something. And then it's going to be a fight back and forth.
well, when it comes to property taxes in Chicago, and this is stuff I was told 40 years ago. Half of downtown Chicago, the land that's the downtown in Chicago, the land is actually owned by the Catholic Church. So they don't have to pay property tax. So you try to run your business that has to pay property tax against a business that's allowed to not pay property tax because it's owned by a church. Why is that fair? The land's being used for the same thing, and this goes back to this was my very conservative Republican father who didn't think that was fair at all. He said and at the time they were working out a way to make the church pay on things that were not the religious buildings or the schools where they taught kids. Other than that, they want them to be taxed. Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Mm-hmm. It's very Michael Moore, but it's okay.
Why I did the bad part of people,
Mm-hmm.
Junior Guilfoyle and Matt Gaetz, go to
Mm-hmm.
the celebration of the president of El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I seem to show up for the right wingers, right? Support. Okay, what is there? I get the sense Daddy couldn't go couldn't go out of country.
I got this was all based on the emperor.
I think they went for 45, because he couldn't
Yeah,
go.
they did. This is, and the card that opens this one's amazing. This is a 5 of coins. This is in the traditional tarot is the couple walking in the snowstorm. Well, what it means to me is someone with no place to go, someone who's feeling trapped. That's my first card. They don't have a home anymore. They don't have a place where they're just loved and accepted. And it was about the emperor. And it was about he sent his young messenger who's not too good with getting messages out. The page of Pentacles upside down. And it ends with, I think El Salvador gave them a lot of illusions and delusions. This is why, I think some of this is why they want their little spies on the intel community. What's intelligence doing about controlling all of them getting out? Because they won't have Argentina like the Nazis did. As far as I'm concerned, El Salvador can have them because they won't last there very long. But
true that.
What do yours say?
Well, maybe 45 couldn't go. Like I said, it kind of starts out. The 8 of Swords, 6 of Coins, And my 6 8 of wands is about news or some kind of sharing of the victory. It feels like they were trying to do
I think
some
they're checking.
diplomacy. Huh?
You're just checking the temperature of the water. Could he go there?
Yeah. That's what it
Mhm.
feels like.
I don't think they booked the room.
But I think it's a failure, whatever they went there for. So I have our government. This is
Mhm.
also kind of like the emperor too. It's
Mhm.
combined. It's combined. My Hierophant and emperor. So an authority, and then we have the oh crap moment. Something didn't pan out, and then there was a big no. So it very well could be something to do with some kind of partnerships, with funds or
Mhm.
substance. And in the end, I have my Duchess card, which is like the Empress star.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a hope, and it's an illusion delusion.
Yeah, I got the 7 of Cups, so it's
And then
dream on.
about the family, with it 10 of Coins is kind of like my family inheritance ancestor card. It's abundance, but whatever they were hoping for is an illusion.
Yep.
So it feels more like they were hoping for some kind of financial success or keeping money there or something. In the
I don't
bottom,
know.
on the bottom, I have the Law and Order, the King of Swords. Could be like trying to woo a dark dictator, the new president too, or what their journey was a failure. So I seen Rose Blue was commenting a bunch of times. Yeah, I got your questions starred there.
Can you go to the one that you've already started at 1013? Nora's face. NORAS dash face is the person who put it. Because I already know about this one. Yes. There was no juror found. The guy who posted that had posted it in several different places in hope it would catch on. He posted where they finally saw it, and Marshawn wrote his thing saying, "This is not true, it's not valid." The guy who wrote it is an alternate rocker. If you've seen a picture of this guy, he is a picture of everyone that if you were my age and you went to a party in the late 60s, early 70s, if you saw this guy in the doorway, you'd turn and leave. And he's a whack job. And he had a really pretty caftan on, but he's a whack job. Anyway, he says he's a disruptor, the guy who posted it. He has no relation to any juror. It was a totally false thing, and he was posting it in hope someone would pick it up. And what the post was that they already had decided Trump was guilty before they ever went in to talk about it. And the guy is not related to anybody, and it's a lie. I don't need to put a card on that one.
A normal MAGA kind of trick.
Yep.
Alan's wondering about the future of Pete Buttigieg. Yeah, I don't feel like we need a lot of cards on this. I think he's going to stay in the administration, whatever works for him, whatever works for administration. When the timing's right, I think he's going to run for president again.
Yeah, Secretary of State sets him up better for being president because he now knows the country from the DOT. Plus, he's been hands-on. He's not like that clown that used to make them raise the flag over his department whenever he was in the office, the weirdo who rode his horse into the federal building. I mean, I wish I had a better mind for names like I used to when I was younger, because there's so many whack jobs to remember. It's really hard.
So yeah, I mean, as long as there's a Democratic president, which I feel it's going to be that way for a long time, it's always going to be a fight. But once people start figuring out that Democrats do things better, it's going to be good. You know, because who's the Secretary of State now? Blinken?
Yeah, Blinken's brilliant.
Yeah. I
And
mean, he's going to want to retire someday.
yeah, and Buttigieg does speak all the languages and stuff, which makes it a real asset for him. Who
Yeah,
speaks
he's a
6
smart
or
man.
something?
So I got the Queen of Coins starting out.
That's what I got. My number 1 card.
You know, so that's he has an ability to make things more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a smart man.
Good with money.
And 5 of Raphael, which is like the 5 of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
That's just staying in your lane, embracing the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got an Emperor for him. So he's a leader. You know, he's got stability. He takes charge. He's got ambitious plans.
Basically what I got.
So yeah, he's gonna stay where he needs to stay, but he's gonna get there.
And then he's always looking for the next opportunity to really compare his skills to what's going on around him. And he seems like a really nice guy. I mean, he's one I have not met, but
he is a nice guy. Smart. I was actually hoping he would have been the nominee, but Joe was the right one for the right time.
Oh yeah, Buttigieg would have been. Joe can go and speak to leaders in those other countries, and we're going to need it. And then, I'll throw cards on it. It'll affect them because they'll take votes from somewhere.
I really need a lot for other cards.
This is the second time the guy's been caught doing it. You know?
No. It ain't gonna affect him. Andy Kim in this toss is coming in as the Page of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Angelic Protection going for him, and then the Ace of Cups. He's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see much affection there.
No, I just see the people in New Jersey. We reelected the fool before because we trusted that he wasn't going to, go forth and sin no more. Well.
Yeah, for a couple cards here that I think came out for Menendez. He's in trouble.
Yeah.
My Death Devil card.
I didn't get the queen upside down. I was expecting to find one of the blonde queens to be upside down because of his wife. Have you ever seen his wife? His wife is like the poster child picture of a trophy wife.
New kidneys, high maintenance, demanding, I'm sure.
Well, she's the one who was just really excited because they replaced her car with a convertible. That's one of the piece of evidence they have, because her other car got wrecked because she hit someone and killed them. But she was more excited about, I have a new car. Now I can go hit somebody else and kill them.
Wouldn't that be glorious to get rid of Masha in Tennessee? Gloria.
Let's see, what should
You got my number. Gloria Johnson. Chances of Gloria Johnson winning Tennessee. Gloria Johnson.
Ooh. Oh my God. I got a yes.
Ooh.
I got a people are tired of the crazy in the past. And Gloria Johnson's been building her coalition very well for a while. It's going to look at first like people are kind of undecided, but Gloria Johnson's going to have the backing and the help, and she's going to put the work in, being out in the field, and people are going to view her as a new young voice that speaks to their emotions. This also is a card that shows up a lot for me about school shootings and gun violence, and I think they're tired of Marsha.
Yeah, they are tired of Marsha, but let's see. It's not going to be easy.
No, she's going to have to put the work in. It's not like she can just walk in and do it.
Moving into election, I got the Wheel of Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
So she is working hard for change. The Fool and Five of Cups. So it's like there's some dejection there, or so let's say she goes into rural areas and kind of gets the snuff, that kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's working hard. In the end, I have the Sun. That's a positive card. The Queen of Cups is a positive card. And the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups isn't the greatest for an outcome.
Yeah.
That almost gives me the feeling of like really close.
Well, what I saw was my middle card, where we are right now, was the Two of Swords, which it can go either way.
It could go either way.
But what I saw in the future was she put in the work and she got the results.
On the bottom, I have the World. So that's very positive change card. So I do have the Wheel and the World in there.
That might mean October is going to be really important for her. Things that happen in October.
So in a state like Tennessee, which is generally Republican, that's a tough call. But if she does the work and keeps fighting, getting the word out, she could win. But it feels really close. It's like I cannot get a sense of like, boom, yes. It's like one of those states like North Carolina. A couple of years ago, that Bud dude won when he had no reason to win, and Sherry Beasley, I think, should have won, but it went. Jeff's pendulum spinning circles, and it's like, yeah, for me, that's I don't know, or I can't tell you, or it's going to be hard. Yeah, true, Nancy. I mean, there's great momentum here. I think she is doing the work and getting the message out that people are sick of things, but she's got to get to the rural areas, try to make some mind changing.
Well, that's a statewide race, right? There's still more people in the cities than there are.
It's a statewide race, yeah. She was elected in a Democratic area, and the Justins. Unfortunately, they have a Republican governor, Republican everything else. That would be wonderful if she could make the change and show the people that Democrats can do it better. It's unfortunate. We're in a society where not enough people are informed. Like when I browsed New Jersey's primary, right? There was like 25% of the presidential election voted. It was low turnout.
Well, see, you live in a state where voters vote. In primaries down here, that's not low. It's a matter of fact, people don't understand what primaries are. They don't understand what they do. And trust me, a lot of people running in them don't want anybody to understand what they are or what they do.
Yeah. Our primary had about 50% turnout. And I seen in New Jersey, there was 4 million votes
Mm-hmm.
in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
There was maybe a million that voted in the primary.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not, that's not good.
No, I used to always tell people in the political cycle, if you don't like what you're going to see in November, you better damn well put your butt in there in March and vote for it. And actually start before March and put good candidates up. That's the other problem.
Yeah, it's like in our primary, I noticed there wasn't a lot of signage out for primaries. There is for presidential in November.
Well, that's true. That's always
Get
been
out
true.
the vote, get out the vote. But the primaries, there are no signs out. Get out the vote for primaries. There's nothing.
We have signs and they still don't show up. Trust me.
That's unfortunate.
We don't understand. People go, what are they running for?
What can be done about SCOTUS for lying and confirmation hearings? Unfortunately,
At the moment, nothing.
nothing.
Because we don't have the counts to do anything about it.
When the Democrats take back the House, they can impeach.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing you can do about SCOTUS now. It's so unfortunate. All you can do is keep the pressure out and calling them out for liars and whatnot. Okay. Let's go back to.
Look at Lisa Murkowski came out and said the GOP should dump Trump. Where did that come from? I mean, other than out of her mouth. And she lives in a state she proved she could run. They ousted her once. She came back, ran as an independent, and beat the crap out of both of them. So it's way up at the top.
Oh, you want that one?
I didn't see the second one.
Probation.
It's
Oh,
three.
Laura.
Yeah, Laura. Mm-hmm.
I was looking for Rose. Rose Blue had a bunch. I was going to get to her, but
Okay.
you mentioned Lisa. So, has she been asked to come out?
From the moderates that are left in the or the people who maybe want to win at some time in the future.
I believe it's her own convictions. I don't think she was pressured into this.
No.
Let's see what the cards say.
I'm asking if she did this of her own conviction.
Good morning, Celtic Seer.
Yes.
Carrie Lake and have a nervous breakdown. That's funny. Yeah, she's in trouble.
I think she actually recruited them to get behind her.
Lisa recruited
People. She went out. She said, I don't want to stand alone. Are there others out here like me? She was not real excited about what she found, but she decided to take the battle on because she has the own power within herself. And she knows it's a high risk maneuver until they all go down. But these two cards tell me that she recruited them. She went around and said, what if I'm the spokesperson that says this? And they're not just people who are elected. I think there are other Republicans that are out there that might want to be elected at some far future date if they rename the party.
I think she's in a better position in Alaska
Mm-hmm.
this than, let's say, in North Dakota or other places, Arkansas. I think I think MAGA is stressing her out. The nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I think she sees that the GOP is going to go through dark times,
Mm-hmm.
and they're losing financial support.
Mm-hmm.
10 of Wands, my dark times card, and Ace of Coins. So I think they're losing financial support. You can see the path that Republicans are going down. And then we have Ace of Cups. She wants something better. Knight of Wands, put the message out there, being inspired, and it has something to do with her past. Not being naive about things.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ace of Swords. It's like an awakening.
Mm-hmm.
New ideas. The moon coming out from dark. That's the way I'm feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my 6-sided coins. There's some collaboration here. The giving and receiving,
Right.
like talking here and there. It could be votes, 2 with the 7 of coins. But yeah, it just feels like she's willing to talk about the downfall, and she's in a better position to do it.
Well, they threw her out, and she came back and won, which made her a little difficult for them to ignore completely, although they try.
She's basically saying what the majority of Republicans want.
Mm-hmm.
Just the other ones are afraid to do it.
It's not just afraid, they collaborate. I remember reading lots of nasty stories about collaborators in Nazi Germany and when it all fell apart, what happened to them. So good luck to those guys. And
Who do you mean by she collaborating with?
people that don't really like what Trump's doing, but they're thinking, oh, I have a better shot if I stay with this and try to make this work than standing up to it.
Okay.
We had people, Democrats have people who stand up to the president, but they still get along sort of within the party. I mean, Republicans don't allow that. Republicans, you have to get in line, and that all goes back to when Reagan became president, and nobody dares say anything against dear President Ron, even when he got caught with the Iran-Contra project. And this, you can go, for those who don't have the history on it, you can read about how Bill Barr got George Bush Sr. and his whole crew, the whole next crew. That's one reason why they lost so badly.
Yeah, they're all horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cotton.
Read J.D. Vance's book that he wrote.
J.D. Vance, Tom Cotton.
Your senator, my senator.
Ron Johnson, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio. They all go on Fox News. Josh Hawley. They all go on Fox News, right-wing media, and just lie. And lie. So
does the show that they had Trump on, I guess was on Saturday morning. That interview came from, they talked to him for an hour and a half, and they pared it down to like 30 minutes. And apparently somewhere, someone's gotten the full tape. And he's even more out to lunch than we think.
Who's out to lunch?
Trump.
Oh, Trump. Okay.
This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't hospitalize anyone.
Yeah, he is gone.
There's several thousand people that are really happy that I can't. Okay.
It's their own doing. They deserve it. They could have got rid of this guy in impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
The second time.
Mm-hmm.
I could see, them sticking with the party and not doing it over Ukraine. but they should have got rid of him after J6.
Yeah.
I see so many crazy Facebook posts from my so-called friends. It's like, oh my God, mind
I don't
blown.
know. I have a whole lot of people that reach out to me all the time, and I go back and I look and see what their Facebook profile looks like. And, one picture of a birthday candle saying happy birthday is not a Facebook page. These are not real people. Okay, what are we going to do about Hakeem?
We could look at the energy yet.
The chaos on it. You just want to look at the chaos in the RNC and then see, will it switch it to Hakeem?
I really can't believe the Democrats saved him again, or and didn't want to vote for a removal thing. They did him a favor, and then
He promised to sign the stuff to Ukraine, and they took the bigger picture. But if they did it again, I'll give up on Hakeem too. I'll have no party. I'll become part of the great unwashed independents that don't know what the hell they're doing.
they got the funding done, and then immediately after and continuously, he continues to go on the tour and lies and lies and lies too.
He looks so cute in his blue suit and his red tie, though.
It's like, oh my God, why did we even care?
And
what's going to happen in the future here with the speaker?
Who's the African American that's not Tim Scott?
Byron Donald.
Okay, yeah, the one who there's a show I listen to, and they call them biscuit makers, and it goes back to a thing when slaves would run away and they would send another guy out in the woods that would make biscuits, and he'd lure them in with food, and then they'd capture them all and put them back into slavery. So that's to say someone's a biscuit maker is not a nice thing. And he's like he's taken over making the biscuits from Tim Scott. So.
They both, Tim Scott and him, they both go on these shows and this toss salad. It's like, what the heck? They're the tokens of the party.
Mm-hmm.
The energy is still there for him to be the leader before January.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Magician, Page of Coins, and the Wheel of Fortune coming in currently. And those are changes cards.
Mm-hmm.
Page of Coins is a new path, a raise, a new job. Magician, he's just doing the right things, saying the right words, making deals, whatever it is, to position himself. More things are going to come to light here soon. I still think October is a huge month. The October surprises. Maybe that's when Jack Smith does his thing. Who knows yet? And in the end, I have Queen of Cups, my USA card.
Mm-hmm.
It's like loving, nurturing, being generous, country over party. Strength card.
Right.
That's being there. That's rule of law. That's self-love. It's balance. And then the King of Coins. Now, that isn't 45 in this scenario, but it can be him.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all great cards, because that was my question again in my head. Will Hakeem Jeffries be leader before January?
Yeah.
And it says yes.
I got was people want to get away from whatever the battling that's going on. And they got the Eight of Swords reversed, which means being freed up. I think the House realizes it's just some movements it's going to have to make. And the only way to do it is not have Johnson there. And this is the right thing's going to happen at the right time that's going to trigger it off. And they're getting rid of the devil. They're getting rid of the materialism that's been running everything. But it's going to be a depressing, a quietly depressing time, even though we're going to be getting what we want.
Beginning to think that Smith is getting nowhere because the wealthy are paying government officials off. SCOTUS.
Mm-hmm.
SCOTUS is making Smith go nowhere. And all the money that 45 is getting so he can just continue to appeal.
And continue to pay all the people Smith needs to have talk. You know, 2 of those women that got jobs that were 3 times whatever their salary was before, those were the 2 women that were in the office with them when the woman had mistakenly let go of the audio tape showing that Trump was showing secret deals. Remember when he showed, oh, here's the war plans to go against Iran, whatever that thing was?
Probation officer has nothing to do with recommendation.
No.
They'll have to just go in and do the paperwork prior. You know, that's just for formality. Supposedly they have to do a drug test.
They have to check him psychologically. See if he's fit to run. See if he's fit to be out in the streets. That'll be a short meeting.
So let's go back here.
Do you want to answer poor Brian Beecher's question? What do you see for the future of the paycheck to paycheck crowd?
So that's about
wage earners, people who don't
wage
have
earners that live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, not with a lot in pension funds, not with a lot of anything else. What is in the future for them? Are they going to continue to be suppressed or lifted up?
I see help coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, we're going to have bills that help families.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like childcare help. And
like finally getting rid of $40 billion worth of student debt that there's a drop in the bucket compared to what oil companies get.
Right.
Maybe we'll quit paying oil companies when they're making so much money.
There's help coming. I mean, it ain't going to bring them out of poverty per se, but there's going to be help, to make things go a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like this one. I see messenger of innovation and romance, and it's the Knight of Cups. That's good things coming towards them. Development of new things with enthusiasm, which is the Page of Wands. And in the center is provider of logic and good judgment. This is really important. Supporter of their ambitions so that they can be a success. And this is the Six of Swords. Better things are on their way. That's the 5 cards I pulled for what I see coming up for paycheck to paycheck. But paycheck to paycheck has to get off their butts and not get their paycheck, go home and drink a beer and do nothing else. They got to get out and vote.
Yeah, everything's got to do with, how you finance and budget things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I see help coming. My Empress star,
mm-hmm.
The divine feminine, creation, abundance, family. 9, 10 of coins, making
mm-hmm.
things more balanced and more success. And then Page of Cups, offers, being helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to see it.
There you go, Brian. And we would love it if you contribute something, Brian, but it's not a requirement to get your question answered. I just thought it was one of the more practical questions.
When will house prices fail? Prices fall. it's all demographic there. We're seeing prices drop in my area, mainly because interest rates have went up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once the Fed starts dropping rates, I think like 18 months, things will get a lot better for housing
Mm-hmm.
and can really drop the price rates. Because less and less people can afford the payments, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
interest up. So prices have to come down to get sold. Um, I know two expensive houses just sold in my area. They were near $2 million ranch, huge
Mm-hmm.
house, large property. They ended up dropping like $400,000 to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So still, someone's got to have great income to afford 10,000 a month mortgage.
Well, and we need housing that's for people that have normal salaries. We need in Dallas, they're building apartments again.
Wow, Tennessee houses have gone up 3 times. That's ridiculous.
Well, let's see. The place I live in, it's doubled since
I think
we moved here in the middle of COVID though, and you had to pay people to come look at your place, you know, during that time because nobody wanted to go out. My kids went out and found this place, moved into it, and we get every day we'll get notices from realtors. Are you interested in selling? But where do you go?
yeah, right. I think the biggest problem is rent.
Yeah, it's multifamily housing.
Rent has got to come down. But it's all tied to everything's tied to the interest rates.
It's not necessarily the reason there was a lot of affordable housing in the 50s is because the government subsidized it. They thought coming out of World War II they needed to build one.
God, that is ridiculous. People need to stop buying, you know, and that's the problem.
Well, Austin, the prices just plummeted in, you know, upscale middle class housing because all the big tech companies down there had a big layoff.
I think eventually the market's going to dry up.
Hmm.
You know, you can't keep getting those prices.
And retirees are cashing out. Not this one, because I have nothing to cash out to, but
That's the big thing right there. Corporations. And then the average Joe that has a few apartment buildings and duplexes and whatnot, well, everyone else is doing it. I can raise my price too. So, you know,
oh, Steve Bannon is going to jail.
how is that legal? 2535 Apple says your rent going from 700 to 3,500.
Hmm. I don't know. You have to tell me what state you're in.
No one can afford that.
Hmm.
I don't make that in a month. If I didn't have Nancy and splitting bills, I wouldn't be able to live.
Hmm.
I'd be in the streets or begging my sister for a room.
Steve Bannon is going to jail.
Yes, he is. Whoop, woohoo.
Whoop, whoop.
July 1st, and then he goes in trial.
For his ripping people off and what he was already convicted of by the feds.
He's going to get it. He's going to be gone for a long time. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just see the energy of Sarah Huckabee. There was other scandal too, like Did she go to the Super Bowl or something?
Yeah.
Tornadoes go through her state, and
I'm going to say, what's
New
the
York,
public?
and she's in New York City or something.
Right. Well, there's nothing you can do about that, Scott. I mean, it's not like she said, oh, the tornadoes are coming. I'm going to fly to New York.
Well, she
You
wasn't
should
there.
fly back immediately.
Yeah. You'd think her crew or whatnot would look at a weather forecast. You are responsible for your state.
Yeah, but I went to bed one night thinking it was going to be a regular night and woke up the next day and found out I'd virtually had a tornado go over me and didn't have power for 5 days. And I was watching the radar. So,
Cool.
Don't be so hard on Sarah. Sarah can only do what Sarah can do. We're not giving her exceptional sight. How crappy is it going to be for Sarah in the future? She's going to hit a point where it's the darkest before the dawn, which means she's going into the darkness. And she's going to feel like news develops. She's going to feel uplifted. She's going to think everything's going to work. That could be the lectern trial going away. But guess what? Oops, win or lose way, and she loses. And then it takes her a while to appreciate what's really going on around her because she can't see what's written on the walls. And what I think was written on the walls is her state's had enough of her. If the officials won't go after her, they have the polling box. It's up to the Democrats to raise someone to keep people aware of how she thinks she's, I go to the bathroom and there's no odor left, unlike you plebeians. That's what pisses them off.
Rose blue. Compressor name sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Why people call her Suckabee.
Mm-hmm.
I think her administration is going to be one big scandal. According to these cards, her future doesn't look bright.
Mm-hmm.
I do have Law and Order coming after in the end. Knight of Swords, like a continual investigation kind of thing. Page of Swords, always something new. She's gonna do what she's gonna do through she's gonna get more creative, like the bookkeeping or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have the devil here, so she's gonna continue to have that greed and that excess and addiction kind of thing. She is not good person, not good for Arkansas or wherever she is. She's speaking both sides out of her mouth. She lies constantly yet. I don't think she has a good future. She's probably going to lose her next election. They got a tower coming in with her.
Mm-hmm.
Page of Wands is the speaker, but that's why I feel like this is kind of like the Two of Swords decision cards. So it's like, that's why I got the feeling of like both sides, she just lies. And then with the devil and fudging documentation with that 3-4 coins. She thinks she's beyond reproach because she's in the governorship.
Mm-hmm.
But the ending is feels like a constant fighting and constant law and order coming after, finding this, that, and other thing. Knight of Cups is about travel. So there's going to be investigations of what she's spending on travel. But it's like she's in a red state, so who's going to prosecute her, right? It's kind of like the Satan. Did he get in trouble for all his private jets trying to run for president?
Mm-hmm.
Probably spent more than anyone else has ever trying to swing Iowa. He spent like $250 million on trying to win Iowa. Flying around the country in private jets and, private transportation, wasting money. While his wife was trying to look like, who is that fancy lady? I can't remember the name now. Jackie?
Oh, Jackie Kennedy.
Yeah, just trying to look like Jackie Kennedy and portray it. It's like,
Sarah Huckabee was trying to look like Jackie Kennedy.
no, I was talking about the Satan's wife.
Oh, I was gonna say, whoa, wait a minute. I missed.
Yeah, I was just going on about, how the Satan.
Oh, she thinks she's beautiful. She's some sort of beauty queen. They always think they're beautiful.
Certain ones are hiding.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that don't, I think it's all political and what they're doing. Those that are out in the public and making noise, their district is going to vote them.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are worried keep their head down.
But it's their own party that's pushing them out. It's the MAGAs around them that are pushing them out.
It's amazing. Doug Burgum.
We saw him in the debates. That's all I can tell you about him. We saw him. I don't remember a thing I heard him say except that I'm a self-made man or something.
Oh, he showed up to Trump's trial. He was one of those red tie guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's on the right-wing circuits saying it's a sham. Future of Doug Burgum. That was pretty cool, Karen. The D-Day veterans, and they hugged Zelensky, and the guy called Zelensky a hero.
Yeah.
That was pretty touching. Shifting bales. We called the Satan's wife Tachio.
That's very good.
That's perfect.
I like that one.
I like it a lot. Tachio. Oh, my lordy. Doug Burgum.
Oh, Doug doesn't look so bad. Doug is real good at building certain kinds of alliances, but what he's doing now is killing his career. 10 of Swords. His wife doesn't like what he's doing. Maybe she'll hang a flag upside down. I think he's still going to be okay in North Dakota, and he continues to party on there because he's not going to get anywhere near VP. His political future, as long as he doesn't leave the state of North Dakota, is okay.
I don't know what the heck. Like he needs any more money. Some reason he really thinks he's got a shot at being VP. I don't know how.
I don't know. Trump's going to pick Vance.
He's going all in for the devil.
Mm-hmm.
He's building a partnership, flying around the country. Some reason he truly thinks this is a good thing. 2 of Cups, 8 of Wands, a Wheel of Fortune. I don't know why he thinks it's a good thing, but somehow it's a moneymaker, an elevation of some kind of funds. I don't know. The Trump campaign gave him some money, something, but I don't know why he needs money. Isn't he wealthy?
They wanted Dakota in their bio, safe from Dakota, and he doesn't shoot dogs. So he's better than the other alternative. Maybe people won't forget about Christy Nome.
I don't see anything bad for him. In the ending, I got Strength, the Fool, and Page of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
The Fool is just kind of like a leap of faith thing, but he's got Strength by his side and Page of Cups.
I don't think this fool's journey is hurting him.
No, I don't think it's going to hurt him.
I think it's going to. He could be governor of North Dakota however long you can do that.
Can't remember who she is, but there's some good, honest people running in North Dakota
Good.
for Senate and whatnot.
What makes me angry is
Unfortunately, one of them is a woman, but she's running as a Republican. It makes sense, but I think it's in the House. There was I caught a brief video of like a panel discussion. What do you call that? When the reporter asked some questions.
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she was calling them all out about abortion and the big lie and the election. And she's like, no, you people are lying. It's like, huh. I looked at her bio and like, oh gosh, she sounds like a Democrat. No, she's running as a Republican, but
It's okay if that. I don't care.
she's not crazy.
Oh, funniest joke, and it's not a joke; it's a true story. But then a week ago, the woman was elected to be president of Mexico, and she's not only an environmentalist and a scientist, but she's Jewish. And so the MAGA clowns were on Twitter. Apparently, they were watching her speech. I don't know how they were doing that. Anyway, she thanked Jesus for all his support for her getting the job. And they didn't realize, they wrote in their thing, see, she's not really Jewish. She's Christian. She praised Jesus. Well, Jesus is her husband.
That was
So when I heard that, I told my daughter that. I thought she was going to die laughing.
They're all horrible. MAGA. They don't think. Just go with the outrage right away.
Mm-hmm.
Cruz does it, and everyone does. JD Vance does it now. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get called out, doesn't matter. Anything to bring out the outrage.
No offense, but JD Vance looks a little demonic and a little like he was in touch with the devil, especially that wacko beard he's got. I'm not against beards. I just think anyone who's always trimmed is wrong. Oh.
So from what I heard, other people can still go, according to what I read.
But she can't be in charge of it.
There's only certain. They could split it up, right? Because supposedly there's only certain ones that went into this appeal to the Georgia Supreme Court, I guess, or appeals court, whichever one, I can't remember. For having a relationship. So dumb. But supposedly the other ones that didn't sign on to this can still move forward. And I guess Fani Willis's team is pushing that to get a trial.
Well, they were saying thought they were going to split it up anyway at the beginning because there were 19 and it was too many, and they've got what now? It's 13 because of the 6 that already pled.
there's still quite a few, so they could still split it up. I always seen it split up, so maybe that's how.
I'm just going to do a straight update on the Fannie Willis and this whole prosecution.
Yeah,
Isn't the thing in the
it's
Supreme Court about her?
October, so
Isn't it
a
the
long
thing in the
way.
Supreme Court about her going against Trump? Oh, she's going to be okay. And oh, these are lovely cards. This is a different deck. It's slightly paler for those of you who watch the decks. But she starts out with the Seven of Cups. Everybody's trying to figure out what should they do. Is she really drowning? But it shows, nope, she's already figured her way out of this one. It's going to require still a lot of fighting and maneuvering. But at the end of the day, she gets the fulfillment and gets the whole thing the way she wants it. And it's got the page of coins, which means they're going to pay. So looks great for her. Let's see if I can pull a season card.
I have nothing bad with her. The devil in the past, the devil got what they wanted for delays.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of dumb because all you're doing is spending more on lawyers. But yeah, I have nothing bad for her. Knight of Wands, universal energy, spirit, free spirit, movement.
Mm-hmm.
Knight of Coins, patience, person of honor, and Ace of Cups, abundance.
And I looked for a season card. I got fall. It's going to come out this fall, which you can do. First trials may start then.
Final outcome, Queen of Coins, Ace of Swords, truth unveiled, and Nine of Cups, the celebration, wishes fulfilled. So eventually it's a great outcome for her. Just the devil got what they wanted for delays and to try to make things look bad on her, whitewash her career. I remember one of the good lawyers we listened to, I can't remember the name. It was either the one with Andrew Weissman or the one
Vance?
Or the one on Legal AF. One of the women.
Yeah.
She was talking about her life, and she's like, it happens. People fall in love when they work together. It happens. She goes, my husband and I worked together and we fell in love when we got married. Mm-hmm. We never got told we couldn't run a prosecution or anything.
Well, not only that, the state law says that a married couple can be on opposite sides from each other in a criminal trial. I mean, this has been pursued. It's in their law. So it was a reason to raise a stink. That's all it was. Diversion. I think she's going to have something come out this fall that's going to get them.
Trying to find the right question. It was about probation that Rose Blue was talking about it. But the ones I have starred here aren't making sense to me. About security, if go to jail and stuff, but I think we just want to know more about.
She wanted to know if he had to pay for his own security. Is that the one?
I guess. I thought there was something else, and I thought I had to start, but I'm not seeing it. Let's go with Cecilia first. It's kind of the same.
Okay.
You're talking about special treatment and possible psyche eval. So you said you've seen something about there should be a psyche eval?
Yes, there has to be one, and because all the procedures have to be met. That's what these days between. That's why they didn't just say from the bench you're going to jail. They had to give him a chance to build up that profile. He has to agree to everything on that or he's in violation of it, and then the judge can just sentence him. But what is in that psych evaluation, I don't believe can be made public because of the HIPAA laws. They can be made public to the judge and anybody who has to rule from that information, but I don't think they can make it open.
I don't see any special treatment
No.
as far as the probation and meeting.
And he got the appeals court he drew that would follow from the court he's in, and it is 5 black women. So
When is the probation interview? I haven't heard. It's got to be before July 11th.
yeah,
The piss test and all the evals have to be done prior to.
yeah, that's why they gave him that timeline to do it in.
Oh boy.
I'm just going with one card I pulled first. Ace of Swords. They're just going to push it through. Clarity way. Just going to cut through it and make him do it, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I got the Ace of Swords too. He's worried. He's not looking forward to it. Ace of Swords, 6 of Swords, and Death. These results are really worrying him.
Yeah, I've seen that card more than I wanted to in the last couple weeks.
Before that, I have the 8 of Wands, the movement,
Sudden, quick movement.
the Temperance, what to do. Look at this Temperance. It looks like trying to mix a piss test or something.
Here's a urine test. You just failed. Oops.
And then 10 of Swords.
Oh,
Feels
God.
like some kind of excuses to make not to do it. There's a lot of worry there of the results and what he has to do. I think he's going to try to, somehow he wants to try to get out of it. No, you can't pay off probation officers.
Are you done? Are you done with your cards yet?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. He's trying to stall it. It won't. There's just people have to develop the trust in them and the manifestation that they need. He's actually almost kind of giving up the struggle about it. He's becoming wearily defensive. But Scott, this is my closing card.
Death.
Death.
A death too.
That also can mean the ultimate change, people. So.
Yeah, it's an ending of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm so sick of hearing about him not getting caught. Just having him caught is enough.
he's trying to get Blanche to get his pee.
No, he ought to send in, who was that guy? Costello? The guy who blew his whole defense. That lawyer guy? Have him do it.
Yeah, it ain't gonna go good. I guess
They make them do it in an open room with 2 people watching, according to Michael Cohen.
Detox hospital can't stop drugs suddenly. Not looking good.
Can
Yeah.
stop. Well, I don't think anybody's ever accused him of being a drinker, but my friends, the doctors I knew who used to work in the emergency room, they'd rather deal with almost any drug in the world because they know kind of how to counteract it. But booze was the worst. Someone came in with alcohol. They never knew how they were going to react to what was going on around them. But he doesn't do booze, so. What else we got? We haven't talked about the Russians having their navy in Cuba. Did we talk about that?
No.
You and I talked about that.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Look at that click again. SCOTUS is delaying.
Mm-hmm. You want to see what the outcome's going to be?
Let's look again.
Okay.
It's going to be this week, Tuesday or Thursday. Or they're just going to wait till the very last minute.
Oh, they're going to hold it out the longest they can.
I seen Joyce Vance had an interesting thought about it. They think they have it done, but they're going to rule against immunity, but she thinks Alito's probably dilly-dallying on his dissent.
Well, everybody has to sign off on it. So unless they can break his fingers and make him sign, Ooh, we're going to love it though. They've tried to be the Two of Swords. They've tried to hold on for too long. But and I asked about it being this week, and it says Joyous Home Garden, the Magician, Ten of Cups, happily fulfilled place, and another thing, the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, upside down. But with the 2 10s in there, I think it means it's delayed everything to October. That could happen if it comes through this week. And I don't know how many more weeks Clarence can find. We can find out how many luxury vacations. I wonder when that man ever ruled. Did he ever go to court?
Yeah, did he ever go to court?
That's a job I want.
In a normal world, after this is found out, he would be removed. Anyone else would be removed immediately. Stealing all that and whatnot, right? In a normal world,
Mm-hmm.
if you were working at some factory and you found out you were getting all these deals, the owner would, the boss, the owner would have you fired immediately. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's okay. Trump can't apply to be a trashman in New York City because you can't get that job with felony conviction. But
manifest on Thursday.
Okay, manifest on Thursday. Okay.
Most likely it would be a Thursday.
No, okay, yeah, she's got Thursday. I trust Karen. She works with this stuff all the time and stays very well informed.
You're welcome, Pam. Okay.
Oh, Celtic. What are you going to read on Thursday?
I have my cards on the hearing.
Okay.
You put yours up. So what were you saying about October? The case.
I think that the whole thing's setting it up to things to be in October because my 2 out cards were 10s, the Wheel of Fortune and the 10 of Cups.
The 10 of Swords and 10 of Cups.
Okay.
So the Empress, my Empress Star card, open faith, 8 of Swords, being restricted. This is in the past position. And then wishes fulfilled. So obviously I think that's just telling us that the case has been on hold. Basically what that is. Moving forward here, talking about the court, the Magician, making things happen, the Hermit, obstacles, thinking about it, and then the 10 of Swords. So that's a failure. A painful ending. Painful ending for Trump, yeah. And then the Sword of Truth, Queen of Cups, and my angelic card. Angels and guides and doing the work. So that's a great outcome. So everything looks good on it happening. Bad news for Trump. The Magician, the creator, does the right thing. So when? Well, we're getting a lot of 10s. What's Thursday?
10th is Monday. That's tomorrow.
No, the 10th is Monday. $11 or 14. The outcome is good. I'm just not getting ahead of when they're going to do it.
Mm-mm.
I think SCOTUS is so hard to read on.
Well, because SCOTUS doesn't know what the hell it's doing. I mean, try to read a mush brain.
Yeah, it's when you're trying to read SCOTUS, you're basically trying to read Alito. Seems like he controls it, him or Thomas. Not John Roberts. The evil runs the court. The usual suspects. Some of the Twitter lawyers are thinking the obvious ones. Alito and Thomas rule against,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's one more. Most are saying Gorsuch, but
I don't think it's going to be Amy Coney Island. I think it's going to. I think it would be Gorsuch if it was going to be any of them. And the other ones may be so pissed because they're getting put in such an untenable position that they'll just, because I mean they've all got side deals somewhere. They're just not as blatant as Thomas.
what was that rule again? They needed 5 to listen to the case, or 4?
4, they needed. You mean to bring it into another whole full blown hold it off further?
No, I mean when they actually take a case. I can't remember the rule.
It's 5.
So 5 had to agree to look at it.
Mm-hmm. And the 4 were the 3 Dems and Amy Coney Island. Which means, when is Roberts going to grow a pair of balls?
5 need to lift to stay, according to here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, they were all talking about that. When someone petitions the court to listen to a case,
Mm-hmm.
yes, 5 to take it up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, anything.
Nigel Farage. I just want to run a quick run on him. Nigel Farage, who, for those of you who don't know him, he's a genius that convinced the British voters to do Brexit. And he's disappeared. He's been over in Europe. He's been everywhere. He's all of a sudden shown up and he's running in the parliamentary elections. We had a couple, Celtic, Lizelle and Celtic Seer both asked about him. And I'm curious too. He's a big buddy of Steve Bannon's.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm. You want to lay just? Can I lay 5 cards real fast on him?
Yeah, go.
Because
Nigel?
Nigel.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a real slime ball. He's a real Bannon-ish person.
Well, Republicans wouldn't get a darn thing if they didn't have the House.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. All they can do is obstruct then.
Oh.
Nigel.
He's going to do better than they think, but he's going in with the negative perception with the reverse wheel of fortune. Right now, he's not being greeted with open arms. It's negative people watching him, and he doesn't have the Queen of Wands with him. He doesn't have the energy of the Queen of Wands to develop and go forward. But Nigel has a magic sauce somewhere in his makeup, and we're going to get to watch him work, and he's going to do a certain amount of damage just in the issues and ideas he puts into the election. That's why I really hated seeing his name show up. He was good buddies with Boris Johnson.
I got good things for him.
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Well, he may be. I
I just
mean,
drew 5 cards, and I got the 6 of Swords, trying to make things better. Page of Coins, a new path, new job. Page of Cups, new offer. Knight of Wands, taking that offer and that energy to the universe. And then the Strength card. So whatever he's planning, it's going to work.
I got a feeling he's going to use his magic little potion, his little queen, the high priestess information he has.
So that's why I got 5. Just pulled out 5, and I heard the name, but I haven't got a clue who he is. No. He's
His
a real.
name says it all. His name is Nigel Farage. I mean, what more do you need to know?
Ronnie says, yeah, he's a real.
Yeah, he's a real, yeah.
Cut from the same cloth. Sloth. Okay, 3 inspiration. I got stuff to do today.
Okay.
Got to work on the house. It rained all day yesterday again.
Oh, dear. Thank God it didn't here.
Mother Nature's ruining my Saturdays.
I had a summer when I was in college. It rained every weekend. And it was the first time I'd worked a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job for my summer job. So I'd have weekends off.
2s. Got a lot of 2s with the High Priestess.
Mm.
Let's see. The 2 of Michael. There's troubles out there where you can't decide what the heck I should do. How can we compromise on any issues?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's good to be balanced. 2 of Ariel, 2 of Coin. You can do multiple things at once, making life and work information fun. Don't overanalyze things with that one too. And then the High Priestess. Everything works better and at peace when you make things fun.
Mm-hmm.
You get the High Priestess, the powerful psychic insights.
Mm-hmm.
You're at peace. You get the valuable information. That's your destiny, your soul's desire. Like I said, I just think it's best, with that 2 of Michael there. Don't overanalyze everything.
Mm-hmm.
Information-wise, family-wise, whatever. Find a compromise. Make it fun, and everything's better.
Well, I got somewhat the same thing. I got retreat. Retreat. And it says, when you've attracted this card into your awareness, today is a time to retreat. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to find yourself burnout, experiences mountains of stress, which is in the background, which cause overload, exhaustion, anxiety, and depression. It's extremely important not to get caught up in the intensity of life and to take a step back and retreat. When you give yourself time to stop, breathe, and be still, the opportunity will arise to rejuvenate your body, mind, and spirit on a deep level. And that's the stone that goes with this one is green calcite, which is a beautiful calming stone. And if you want to have a chance to retreat every day this week, starting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on my channel until the summer solstice, which is the 19th. We're doing it to the night before. I have my Becoming series, and it's a meditation on what are we becoming, and it's a chance to get still, breathe, get back into yourself, and then to hear from some really marvelous readers like Danny Shea, Dorothy Morgan, this little known guy, Scott Allen, who hangs out in Wisconsin. We got them from everywhere. We've got people from Tennessee. We got Nancy Cast. Sheila's going to be on from Celtic Tarot. Kim from Intuitive View. Anyway, if you go to I'm going to send out a community post about it and which days Rich Readers are going to be on. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you won't get a notice every day to tell you when it's going to be. But
6
a lot of,
p.m.
huh?
6 p.m.
7, dear.
Oh, you're doing 7 now.
Yeah.
Okay. It used to be 6. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't know. It wanders, but it's 7 now. Because that's what it says on the stuff. And I managed to destroy. Poor Sheila's already done a taping with me, and I managed to destroy it. My tech support had to get me off of their computer because they work with other companies' information, and they didn't want anybody else that wasn't paying. And since I don't pay, I had to take it. I had to learn the arduous thing. I used to just Zoom things, and then I'd send them upstairs, and they'd come back, and they'd always show up on the right day. I had no idea how all that happened. I had to learn this week. So that was 3 days of hard suffering work. So I really want to see a lot of people show up for this because I've done my time. And the conversations so far have been fascinating. They've been about every subject under the sun, and that has to do with our becoming. We're not changing anymore. We're breaking through like the sunrise, and we're becoming what we need to be. So if you'd like to join that, come over and see me. You got 10 days of thoughtful information that ties. I just pulled that card blind. I didn't know that's what we would get, but that's what we got. And Scott got the same cards in Wisconsin.
It always works.
He's on the other end of the country than me. Anyway, everybody take care. Have a lovely week. Look forward to seeing you every night at 7. And if you don't see it at 7, it's repeated. You can find it on my channel.
All right. Blessings. Have a great Sunday, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Nancy.